Okay, guys, we are at lesson 9, Algebra 1, and up on the board you'll see is a picture of your book. Starts us with lesson 9. And the objectives of lesson 9, as it's entitled Multiplying Polynomials, as we just finished lesson 8, which was adding and subtracting polynomials, the two objectives of this lesson is one, you will understand that the product, in other words, when you multiply two polynomials, produces another polynomial. And then two, the second objective, you will be able to see and experience and learn 3 different ways to actually multiply polynomials. And you can choose whatever way you think is the easiest. Okay, so I want to start with recognizing that now we're shifting from adding and subtracting polynomials to multiplying polynomials. And so here we go. So on page 43, they show you this diagram, and it says that this person's computed 342 times 23, and they've used this sort of box diagram with the arrows, and it asks the question, can you explain what she is doing? And what is her final answer? Well, let's take a look at what they're doing. They're really just saying that to get this 6,000, they're multiplying 20 times 300. And to get the 800, they're multiplying the 20 times the 40. And to get the 40, 20 times the 2. And the same thing is being done here for the second row. So 3 times 300 is the 900. 3 times the 40 is the 120. And then 3 times the 2 is the 6. And you'll notice that they use this diagram and they're going to go diagonally. And you'll see that 800 plus 900 is 1,700. 6,000 is just by itself. And diagonally, 40 plus 120 is 160. And of course, is 6. And then they're going to add these up. Add these numbers up to get their final answer. $7,866. And so they're showing you this method, and they're reminding you about place values. They get the 300 from the place value of 342. So the 3 represents the 300. The 4 represents the tens, and the 2 represents the 1's place value. And the same thing is done for 23 with the vertical side of the box, 20 and 3. And they're going to show you a method in multiplying polynomials that they're going to refer to as a geometric method. I'm going to show you another method. When we learned when we were young how to multiply these numbers, 342 times 23, you probably remember stacking them like this. And it turns out we can do the same thing for polynomials. But I'm going to review what this method is. This goes back to probably 5th, 4th grade. Remember, you stack them and you just multiply down. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. And then if you remember, you take the 2 and you multiply 2 times 2 to get 4. Put it under there. 2 times 4 to get 8. And then 2 times 3 to get 6. And then you're just adding. Now, again, same answer. Which one's easier for you? Now, I'm going to show you the third method, which is dealing with the distributive property. And so you've seen the geometric method, the box method, the diagram. You've seen the old-fashioned method, and now I'm going to show you the third way to multiply these two numbers. So the third way is to take 342 times 20. 23 rather, I'm sorry. 23. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the distributive property. I'm going to distribute 20 times 342 plus 3 times 342. So I've broken this number up into 20 and 3, and I'm distributing them into the two, or the number 342. And so over here, if I multiply here, and this sort of requires me to do some mental work. So 342 times 20, well, I know that's 0, and that's 4, and that's 8, and that's 6. And over here, again, I'm going to take 342 times 3, 6, and that's a 12, carry the 1, and that's this. And then if I add those numbers together, I get 7, 8, 6, and 6. The same number. Now again, it's up to you which one you like best, but I've shown you 3 different ways to multiply those two numbers. And now we're going to apply it to variable expressions, otherwise known as polynomials. Pause the video anytime, rewind it, but those are the 3 ways to multiply numbers and multiply polynomials that we're going to see. So here in your workbook, it says use a geometric diagram to compute the following products. So let's do that. I'm going to put the 3x squared up here, the positive 4x right here, and the 2 right here. And then down here, I'm going to put the 2x and the 3. And I'm going to multiply 2x times 2 and fill in the box here. This will be 4x. And then 2x times 4x, that'll be 8x squared. And 2x times 3x squared is going to be 6x to the third power. Now notice what's happening to the variables. So notice that I'm actually adding the variables 2 and 1 to get 3x cubed. And then to get 8x squared, it's 1 plus 1 to get x squared. And so pay particularly close attention to that. And then down here below, 3 times 3x squared is 9x squared. 3 times 4x is 12x. And of course, 3 times 2 is 6. So just like we did in the previous diagram, then it wants you to go diagonally. And you'll notice something that we have, these are like terms, which we just learned, right? And so if we keep going here and we write the answer, our final answer, after we add like terms, 6x cubed, and then 8 plus 9 is going to give me a plus 17x squared, and then 4x and 12x is going to be a plus 6x, and then plus 6. And believe it or not, this is our final answer. This is our final answer. Now, having seen this method, I'm going to show you 2 more methods. So now I'm going to show you another method. This method, I'm going to take 3x squared, the original, plus 4x plus 2. And I'm going to stack it, just like I did before with the other problem at the beginning. And I'm going to multiply. I'm going to show you this here in black. I'm going to multiply, just like we normally would. And so what's 2 times 3? Well, that's 6. What's 3 times 4x? That's 12x. And 3 times 3x squared, well, that's a 9x squared. And then now we take this number and we multiply 2x times 2, which is 4x. 2x times 4x, which is 6x squared. And then 2x times 3x squared is 6x to the third power. And as we did before, now we're going to add. We're actually going to add here to finish out. So 6x cubed plus 15x squared plus 16x plus 6. Now, double check 6, 12, 9, 9x squared. There you go. And then double check 2x, 4x. That's going to be, oh, and here it is. 2x plus 4x is not 6. I knew there was something wrong. That's an 8. That's why you double check. It's an 8, and that makes this. And even I make mistakes sometimes. And that's why it's good to go back and double check. I knew something was wrong. 17x squared. So don't be afraid, and please, I didn't do that on purpose. That's actually by accident. But it should show you, go back and double check, as I did, and I found that I actually added the 2 and the 4 instead of multiplying 2 times 4 to get 8. Common mistake. But there again, a second method. And this was the stack method. The stack method, again, you're stacking these numbers. All right, the last method is we're actually going to use the distributive property. I'm going to distribute. So let's take a look at how that would work. I'm going to split this one up and this one. And I'm going to take 2x times 3x squared plus 4x plus 2. And I'm going to add the 3 times the same quantity. And again, we should get the same answer. We already know the answer is, and we've had it verified in the 2 previous examples. We're doing the same problem 3 different ways. So let's distribute. And so as I do this, here and here, I get 2x times 3, that's 6x cubed. This is where I made a mistake before. I won't make it this time. 2 times 4 is a plus 8x squared. And then 2x times the 2 is going to give me a 4x. Plus, multiply again, distribute, distribute, and distribute. 3 times 3 is 9x squared. 3 times 4 is 12x. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now we're going to add like terms. This is review of lesson 8. I noticed that I have like terms here and here. I also notice I have them here and here. My final answer, 6x cubed plus 17x squared plus 16x plus 6. 3 different ways to multiply polynomials.